Hello there, and welcome to this special program. Over the last 4 years, Zambia's small and medium enterprises have been at the center of government support and the new development initiatives. From farmers and innovators to cooperatives and associations, SMEs are finding their place in driving economic growth and creating jobs. But how are entrepreneurs experiencing this change on the ground? And what role do development associations play in supporting their journey? Today, we explore these questions with two guests who live and breathe the SME story. My name is Victor Mwila. Joining me is Pastor Jacob Chunga, proprietor of Jaja Farms, an entrepreneur who understands firsthand the challenges and opportunities of running an SME. Also with us is Mr. Obedi Mbuzi, president of the Business Development Services Providers Association of Zambia, a strong advocate for MSME development and a supporter of government economic interventions. Gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to this program today.
Thank you very much, Mwina. We are
and
privileged.
as you have heard in my introduction, we're reflecting on the 4 years of this government and what has been done in the SME space. We want to look at where we are. Are we making progress as a country? But first things first, I would like to start with you, Mr. Mbuzi. What is your association doing? How are you interacting with SMEs as well as government?
Thank you, Mr. Mwila. First, I would like to just give a brief background of what BDSPZ is all about. The Business Development Service Providers Association of Zambia was formulated and came into being in 2010. So we've been in this space of providing business services to our SMEs. We were actually very excited to see that 4 years ago in 2021, the government formulated the Ministry of SMEs, because I think there was no ministry which was there to focus only on the SME interventions. But thanks to the government, they came up with, we were actually advocating for that we should have a ministry separate from other ministries so that it just focuses on SMEs or MSMEs. As you're aware, 97% of business enterprise are SMEs. So that forms a very big cornerstone of economic development in our country. So we, as a Business Development Service Providers Association, we are there to work with other stakeholders. We are actually a bridge, in between, as a catalyst between the SMEs themselves and the market. So we bridge the gap in terms of ensuring that we build the capacity, we mentor the SMEs, we coach them. We actually work with them to grow their businesses so that they can become more profitable, they can become more sustainable in terms of how they run their businesses. We want businesses which grows from the scratch. They grow to a large-scale company. And we have examples. I think we've been able to interact with the SMEs, those who have grown from the scratch, from being a marketeer to being a manufacturer. Those are some of the things which we are excited about, that this Ministry of Collaboration with the Ministry of SMEs has brought about, because then they are able to actually ensure that the policies specifically, intervene in terms of what the SMEs are going through. We also allude to the fact that the SME policy was revised, and we are part of that revision of the SME so that it can meet the needs of the SMEs. I think from that brief account of what BDSPA is all about, we are actually a team of, I would say, a cadre of consultants, a cadre of business expertise, a cadre of technical advisors, those who are in agri, climate change, mining. Everyone really is on board to ensure that we actually support businesses so that they become more resilient, they are able to grow their business to sustainable levels. Even we want to see we create billionaires in our own country, so that at least we will be celebrating those millionaires coming from our own country.
Still with you, you know, I've had an opportunity to interact with quite a number of SMEs across the country. One of the things that actually comes out of those interactions is the fact that these SMEs are crying for linkages. Are we making a breakthrough in as far as linking SMEs to, for instance, chain stores? These SMEs taking their goods and services into these chain stores. Have you seen anything happening in that area?
Yes, I think in that space also, I think there is a lot which has been done. We've seen SMEs grown to the level of becoming suppliers of chain stores like Choppies, which one is this? The other ShopRite and so on. So we have like for instance, if I'm not mistaken, Choppies has onboarded about 100 plus SMEs who are supplying Choppies, and ShopRite also have onboarded 100 plus those who are supplying Choppies. So that makes us proud that we are able to produce local products which can meet the international standards. Because these SMEs, I think through, like I said, through business development and service provision, they are able to improve in terms of their productivity, they are able to improve in terms of quality, they are able to improve in terms of packaging or branding their products, and also meeting the international standards in terms of quality. So we are happy that we've been able to link these SMEs to chain stores, and not only chain stores, Mwila, because we've also been able to work with SMEs in terms of export. How the SMEs can actually meet the market out there, DRC, these other markets in the region. They've been able to link those SMEs to such markets, and there have been a lot of programs which have been there to actually build the capacity of these SMEs to actually link them to these markets, and also advocating for policy change, because we cannot really have these SMEs supplying the chain stores, because we had the challenges before, because the cry was, no, the SMEs cannot meet the quality, they cannot meet the demand in terms of quantity supplying these chain stores. But we are able to actually aggregate these SMEs, and they are able to supply these chain stores by meeting the demand of these chain stores.
For you, Jacob, as an SME, how has it been over the past 4 years running this business? Just share with us some of the issues that you go through.
I think for anyone to appreciate what the 4 years have done for us, I would start from the beginning. Jaja Farms is a Zambian-owned company. We started our journey in 2014, 2015, unofficial. 2017, we registered with Pakra, and the ball started running from there officially. The dream and the aim of Jaja Farms was to supply chain stores, because every time I would go to chain stores, I was quite chubby. People laugh at me when I tell this story. I was overweight. I was weighing approximately above 125 kilograms. So for me to lose weight, I researched and I found out that popcorn was one of the things that you need to eat at night so that you could, So every time I would go to the chain stores, I would find imported popcorn from South Africa. And that started boiling my blood. And I remember I went to buy beans in one of the chain stores, and I found red beans. So I was asking the manager of the store, I said, why don't you have Solwezi beans? And he said, Zambian suppliers stop midway, so we don't have a supplier for red beans or Solwezi beans. So from that time, I started fighting now, you know. So I registered Jaja, and we started from there. We started with 3 people, myself, my brother-in-law, who is my younger brother. We started Jaja. He would clean the beans. We started with 5 kg of beans. He would clean the beans, and I held a job that time. So I couldn't be with him during the day. I only came back home, then package. So we took our first 10 packets of beans to a supermarket along Kafua Road. Back then, it was known as Zenzo. And he loved the quality. So he was like, hey, Jacob, can you bring me popcorn? And I remembered, because I was on a diet, and I remembered, I said, this was the passion, so why not? I went to Soweto Market, got some popcorn, and from there we started. We took about 2 years to get into Choppy's supermarkets. It took us some time to get there. It took us another 3 years to get into Pick and Pay. And it took us ages to get into ShopRite. So as an SME, that time was very hard for us. And correctly put by Mr. Mbuzi, a lot of SMEs at that time couldn't manage the supply chain. And fairly not because we lacked the money. I think growing up and maturing in business, I understand that we just didn't know what to do rather than the money. Because a lot of us didn't understand that there's off seasons. Groundnuts have an off season. You'll have groundnuts from, say, about April till about September. You still have trickets of groundnuts. In that time, we were going through climate change is real, you know. So you would run out of stock midway. And the demand, and I couldn't understand why the demand was so high in those periods, because obviously there was no one supplying, you know. So the introduction of the Ministry of SME for Jaja Farms in particular was a winner. At that time, in 2020, the end of 2020, we applied through CEC. We couldn't get the money, and we were declined. 2021, the new Dawn government came through, and the president said, we're going to turn CEC into a citizens-based hub so that we can loan out money to citizens that want to do business. And I remember that day I was in a coffee shop, and I said, well, it won't hurt. Let me apply. Called my wife and I told her we're going to apply for CEC, da 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 da. And I applied. It took us 2.5 years to hear from CEC. We were given the money 2023, end of 2023, 2024, I think, beginning. That's when we were given the actual loan. It was asset-based, so we got ourselves equipment. As I speak to you now, through the loan that CEC gave us, we moved from a staff of 3 to 42 people working under Jaja Farms. Now, we have evolved and we've seen a lot of things in the past 10 years. And I could tell you that the 4 years that the introduction of the ministry was given to us, I think are the best years of my business life. Now, I know some people are critics out there. They just say he's a card. Well, that's the truth. I'm a business person, and I speak facts. I don't waste time because I don't have the time. The past 4 years, we've had a big brother in the name of Ministry of SMEs. You play around with an SME right now in Zambia, an SME that is well knowledgeable about the mandate of the Ministry of SMEs. Even the chain stores, they know that we have somewhere to go to and cry and say, listen, this is what they're doing. A lot of these so-called chain stores, they'll tell you, suppliers, then at the end of the month, say June, you give us a statement of what you've brought. And you give them a statement for 100 pin. You're an SME, for God's sake. And they say, we're going to pay you in July, month end of July. That's what they used to do. And most of us, we would run our capital down and we'll find ourselves in debt. We didn't understand that. And once we understood those aspects, we started hunting down the Ministry of SME And we'll tell them, listen, this is what they're doing. It's not that we're failing to supply, but their terms and conditions are too bad. Can you speak on our behalf? Can you say something? And lo and behold, most of these chain stores have changed. Not because they wanted to, but because we have a big brother who speaks for us. I think the Ministry of SME is one of the best ministries that the president ever came up with, if you ask me. Because I lived before the Ministry of SME, and I'm living after the Ministry of SME. I can tell you these are the best years of our business lives, and we've grown. It's things like industrial yards that the ministry brings up, you know. You have an industrial yard, they give you a space where you can work from, and they tell you the rent is this much, and it's minimal. The idea is not to kill you or to make a profit from you. The idea is to grow you, incubate you, grow, and go out there and do your thing. I can tell you right now, Mwila, we as Jaja Farms are proud to say this. We've partners with great companies like ProFlight. ProFlight has our snacks on their board. When you get on ProFlight Zambia, you will find snacks that are produced by a Zambian, Jaja Farms. In those days, you couldn't have that. The only reason they've done that is because our facility is top-notch. Then you have people like Good Nature. Good Nature is a company that gives out groundnuts, legumes. They have the best quality of legumes in Zambia right now. You can only get to a place like ProFlight when you have good stuff. So the introduction of the ministry for me is a winner, and I hope and I trust that everybody sees that. Like the big man has said, 88% plus employment comes from the SMEs. Why in God's name would you not create something that can regulate, speak on behalf of them, and watch over them?
Exactly. So this has been said before, that SMEs are actually the economic engine in most of our countries.
Exactly.
With you as an association, what policies do you think have really helped in as far as strengthening the SME sector in Zambia so far? What policies do you think really these have helped?
Yeah, I think basically, of course, in totality, it's the SME policy. Because the SME policy leader have articulated very well on how SMEs can be nurtured, on how SMEs can be supported. And like he's saying, that policy has really brought the SME now closer, closer to the business, closer to networking with other institutions. It has brought, some kind of streamline in the SME sector, so that we are able to actually see that, this SME can be grown from this point to this point because of the policy, and also because there could be some other policies like labor policies. Even that one, we have integrated them into how the SMEs should be able to actually work with in that space in terms of labor, how they work with other, because the aim actually is creation of employment as well. It's one of the core key factor is to create more employment, which we actually are crying for a lot. And I can tell you, Mwira, that because of this streamlining the SME policy and ensuring that this policy actually brings benefits to the SMEs, we have created employment. We have created employment in various sectors, in agri, like he was talking about. You remember he was talking about there were 3, now there are 40. Okay, so if one SME can create 40 employees, and then you have 1,000, how many people will be employed in this country? That means we are going to reduce poverty in our country. Okay, so it's linked to the SME. The totality is the SME policy, which has really articulated the SME space very well. And of course, there could be some improvement benefit, because we are just now like starting, so we need to see how we can improve on it as we go along, in terms of even the taxation issues. We need to look at how SMEs can participate in the Africa free trade area and so on. All that actually is been able to be articulated in the SME policy.
And just as this is not even a digression, but there are also other sources of support. I think from 2021, let's just say, well, from 2022, we've seen the increase in the Constituency Development Fund, and we see some people tapping into these funds to grow their businesses. But I believe you are aware, one of the things that have been coming out is the fact that most SMEs that are accessing these funds are defaulting. Where do you think the problem is? And what do you think is the way forward? In the news, it's there in the news, time and again, how that people that are accessing these funds are not returning the money, because these monies are meant to be a revolving fund so that others can as well access. After A accesses, another individual can go there and also get help. But most of the SMEs are not returning the money.
Yeah, Mwila, this is an inherent problem. This issue of, having a bad credit, habit, it has been there with us. I think I would say that...
how would we navigate this?
Yeah, because I think we've been going around, the same cycle, lending money and people don't pay, especially if you look at government institution. If the government institution is looking like in the forefront of dispersing finances, it's a question of, you guess, my guess is as good as yours, because then people think that is our money. Okay? So we need to bring in the private sector financial providers who should be independent of government structures to be able to actually, have this, as custodian of these finances and be able to disburse these finances to the SME, because they are good at de-risking the SMEs. We need to de-risk them in terms of how do we de-risk SMEs. First of all, is through the capacity building, which we talked about. We also need to actually do a risk assessment, and also, in addition to that, we need to actually do a credit rating. We need to give a rating, and actually, as I sit here, I'm thinking that I should be able to actually talk to judge firms if we can rate them, so that when they move in, they actually move in the rating to show that they are able to meet short-term and long-term obligations. What has been happening is that, example which I've given, CDF, if you have the council, involved in the CDF, what do you think? They know the councillor is the one who is there, is approving, is giving reference and so on. You say, no, but councillor, you know me. Okay? They are not looking at, is this SME able to pay the money? Is this SME, how is this business? Can we evaluate the business proposal properly? Can we actually de-risk this SME so that this SME can be able to pay? And also the vetting. How are we vetting these SMEs? Are we having real entrepreneurs like we have seen Judge Farms? Is a real entrepreneur. There's a difference between a business person and an entrepreneur. Okay? When you look at a business person, it's a business as usual. An entrepreneur is more innovative. Okay? He's more innovative, adding value to the products and so on, like he's doing. He's an entrepreneur. Okay? So, and he's focused and he's a vision. Now, we have a situation where people who just trying to get finances for consumption, and they forget about paying that man and say, that means those are not business people. So we need to change in terms of the structure. We need to change the system. We need to change everything else. Let's do something different. Otherwise, we are going to be going in circles. I think you know the stories of DBZ, you know the stories of SIDO, We have learned enough lessons. Can we do something different?
Okay. Going forward, Jacob, you are in this space. Mm-hmm. What would you like to see as an owner of a business owner, and looking at the things that you've experienced, the challenges you've gone through? Briefly, What would you like to see going
In
forward?
the market or from the government side of things?
From the market.
From the market. I would like to see a commanding atmosphere for Zambian produced products, number one. I would like to see the respect that they give other brands that are not made in Zambia. And I would love to see people respond to us as SMEs and say, these are our people, let's encourage them. What I mean is, of course, in business, when we're quite young. 10 years is, we're young. I cannot sing nothing too much. Jaja is still a baby. 10 years, that's when you actually start breaking even, according to experts in business. Then going up there, and then you become someone. So we're still young, we're still learning. I would like to see a lot of respect, command in the market by us Zambian SMEs to push our products.
And from the Zambians themselves, are we appreciating your products enough?
Oh yeah,
As Zambians, what's the response like?
I don't know about the rest.
You are adding value to
Yeah,
your produce.
I don't know about the rest of them guys out there that are doing business, Zambian guys. For Georgia, we've been criticized, we've been shot down, we've been told things, but I can tell you that we're grateful that the Zambian market responds very well to us. The reason I say that is because, look, we started with 3 people, we're at 42 now. So which means there is someone out there who's buying Georgia Farms produce. Someone is buying Chiwekamunkonge's peanut butter, which is produced by us. So I think, in all, people are realizing that, oh, hey, there's a Zambian guy who's trying to do something here. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to go to England. I'm not going to go to the UK. I'm going to die right here. So if I can create a brand that can live after I am gone, I'm happy. For me, it's about a brand. You know what I mean? I don't care much about people. I care about leaving a legacy. Coca-Cola has been there for years. You don't even know who started it. You know what I mean? Half the people that drink that stuff don't even know that.
Continuity.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see Georgia live on, but it can only live on if the market responds in a positive and a negative way. So that's what I want to see.
Let me get final remarks from you briefly, because we should be closing. What would be your last words, just to SMEs and generally to the Zambian people? We are reflecting on these 4 years of, that have transpired in the SME space.
Right. I think for me, first of all, I would like to see SMEs who are resilient, SMEs who can grow their business from nothing to something like what example we have here with Jaja. Why don't we have a lot of, I would like to see a lot of SMEs be in this space and be able to grow their businesses like what Jaja is doing. Why don't we, if we can have 40,000 or even 1 million of Jajas, then it means that we have transformed the economy. We have actually created more employment. That is what I would like to say. I would like to see more SMEs coming in with, in good faith in terms of doing business and being an entrepreneur. And then I would also want to ensure that, I would also want to see the government, I think, changing from the way we are doing things right now in terms of, especially when it comes to financing. I think that area, there is a gray area there. I think there is a high level of defaults and so on. Let's try to see what we can do in that area. And we need to do more, I think, also in terms of chain stores and also exports. If we can have more quotas, maybe we get some quotas from other countries and be able to actually do our SMEs start supplying like Jajas. If I go maybe to Botswana, I find the Jajas farms there. You know, a product of Jajas I'm able to actually buy from from Botswana.
Great.
So, and also I would like to, one other thing we need to do is awareness. I think there's a lot we need to do in terms of awareness and information dissemination on SME development. So we need to actually encourage institutions like yours to have a series of programs which can be, sensitize a lot of upcoming business people in Zambia, and what it takes to be a business. And we have got role models. Jaja, you can be there, motivating these upcoming business people, so that we mentor them, we coach them, so that they can also be in that space.
Your last words, Jacob, under a minute.
Under a minute. I would love for His Excellency the President to really put mind to it in the Ministry of SME. That's the future of our country. That's the future of our children. If I can employ 40 people plus myself, because I have a family as well, so I eat from there, my appeal will be to the President to just continue with the same steam he started with concerning the Ministry of SME. That's it.
Thank you very much to both of you. I really appreciate that you made time to come and appear on this special program.
Thank you very much, Mwila.
Great.
Look forward to.
Well, viewers, that's it for today. The story of SMEs is not just about business. It is about livelihoods, resilience, and all that it takes in order to grow a business. From me, Victor Mwila, and the entire production team, it's goodbye for now, and God bless.